Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to race number 6 of the second season of the NASCAR Black Mesa Truck Series. Getting ready to kick off our Indianapolis race weekend. I know some of you are asking yourself if you didn't tune into yesterday's qualifying session. Originally, we were supposed to be at IRP for these Truck Series drivers. Unfortunately, because the AI kept wrecking left and right like crazy, and I didn't want to have a wreck fest. We moved this series over across town to join up with the Winston Cup Series drivers to go racing here at the Ard of Bricks, getting ready for today's 40 laps we're going to have here today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Quentin Moore, by virtue of his fastest lap yesterday, he will start on the pole position, his first pole of the season. Quentin Moore comes into this race coming off of our race at Auto Club last time out. Quentin Moore is 10th in the points table. This is his first pole of the year. He's only led one lap this season. He's alongside of Santi Messi in the 95 machine. Santi Messi comes into this race in the, if I can find the 95 in the points table, he is 6th in the points. Daniel Gitirokh in row number 2, the 02 machine, 29th in the points table, and David Heller, who is the rookie points leader, he is 3rd in the standings. Cody Smart, who starts 22nd, is the points leader by 24 points over Sean Art, who starts in 20th, so the two didn't have a good qualifying effort. 24 points separate those two. 10 points behind Sean is David Heller, who's 3rd in the standings and the rookie points leader. Christian Williams dropped down 2 spots to 4th in the standings. Mohammed Zain is 5th. Santi Messi is 6th, 50 points back. F Sakura is in 7th. She is 52 back of the points lead. Maria Steiner is 8th. Molly Laurel 9th. And our pulser, Quentin Moore, complete the top 10. Let's show you the rest of the starting lineup before I forget. So we're excited to race here at the Brickyard. Everyone has rolled off. The James driver is starting at the rear of the field. A couple of our Winston Cup Series regulars are in this series. Of course, Cody Smart going to be racing on Sunday. Sean Art, this is going to be good practice laps for him as he gets ready for the race. So Sean, Luke Knight, Ben Erickson. Of course, we just finished up with Winston Cup qualifying this morning. You'll find out who will start on the pole for that race. Got trouble back here. I think that's one of the Thor Sport trucks. I think that's D Greene. He's got a problem. I don't think Luke Knight's going to let him in. As I'm not sure what's up with D Greene, why he wants to come to pit road. I don't think he's going to get a break. So something's up with the 99. Luke Knight's not going to let him come to pit road. Oh, this is not going to be pretty. Oh, careful. Oh, this is not going to be pleasant. And now D Greene's coming to pit road. Oh, that just stacked everybody up. Hope this is not a mechanical problem. Or D Greene's not going to score any points on my ticker, which that could be a problem. So we're going to take the green. Green flag's in the air. We're underway here at Indianapolis. Need to get back on the 99, see if they're going to get this problem fixed. I hope. And it was a tire issue. Okay. Okay, as long as it's a tire issue, I'm not worried about that. So he must have picked up a puncture on the pace lap, and he crosses the line. So now he is underway, but he's going to be a long way back. He's going to need a caution to save him. And of course, with him being all by himself and no drafting help, that's not going to help. That's not going to help him catch up. So he's going to need a caution ASAP. First lap is led by Quentin Moore. As Santi Messi's going to take the race lead. Let's, by the way, tell you what the fuel window is here at Indianapolis. It is 40 laps. So 20 laps these drivers can go on one tank of fuel. So they will need to make at least one pit stop. Could be two if they pit now. Or if we get an early caution, they're going to have to pit twice. As David Green's all by his lonesome. Ben Erickson, who'll be racing on Sunday in the Winston Cup race. Going side by side with Brian James, Evelyn Gray. There's Summit Oskin, Mark Games. Oh, we got a wreck. Oh, that's a big wreck. Shane Lake is torn up. Smart's in at the points leader. Dylan James is collected. Callie Burke is collected. Ingrid Pollard. Jacob Foster. Caution is out. And what a huge break for Derek Green. As David Heller has passed Santi Messi, the caution is out for the first time today. Boy, Derek Green caught a lucky caution. There he is, as he's going to get through all the carnage on the back straightaway. Matt Boyle, Ben Erickson. Ugh. Boy, Erickson's had a rough season. Evelyn Gray, Dylan James. Lot of damage to Cody Smart's machine. Mark Games is involved. Jesse Ard. This is not the way for her to start her day. Because remember, she goes in that Craftsman Truck Series race 9 points below the cut line. The caution is out for the first time today. Even if they pit now, they cannot make it the rest of the way. So while these drivers are coming to pit road, let's jump back, look at a replay. The points leader, Cody Smart, was collected in the early stages here at Indianapolis. You know, on a hot, slick racetrack like Indianapolis, grip is like very low. As you see, Shane Lake is all the way up out of the racing line. Same with Helga Gunnarsson. It's like Gunnarsson's going to hit the safer barrier. Shane Lake did as well. He goes down into Callie Berg. Bora Park did a good job trying to miss this crash. And then right in front of Ingrid Pollard, who had nowhere to go. Definitely going to rule a racing incident on the two. There's where Matt Boyle, Jacob Foster, right in front of the Lon John Silver's F-Series of Cody Smart. And then when Dylan James hit Shane Lake, nowhere for Ben Erickson to go. This is not what Ben Erickson needed, because he needed all these laps to get ready for Sunday's race. And unfortunate there, Summit Oskin got a piece of it. Brian James is going to miss the T-Sport Ford F-Series of Dylan James. Excuse me. And then Cody Smart runs in the left rear of the JBL Toyota of Evelyn Gray, so he got a lot of damage. And Cody Smart came in this race as the points leader, qualifying 22nd. That put him in the pack to where he could get caught up in something like this. And Boy, I'd be worried about him if he falls out of the race. I'd be worried about him going into Sunday because remember, he's 31 points ahead of the Winston Cup cut line as far as trying to advance into the round of 12 as we're going to head back to the restart here at Indianapolis. Going to go back to green on lap number 7 of 40. Daniel Gitirokh's team won the battle off pit road. S Ard did stay out, but she had to come back to pit road to serve a penalty for coming into the pits when the pits were closed. So she'll have to start at the end of the longest line. Daniel Gitirokh is the leader. Maria Steiner second. Eric Sadler in third. Chloe Erickson in fourth. Christian Williams complete the top 5. Nathan Orman is 6th. Oh, Quentin Moore's in trouble. He was going to restart in 7th. Bora Park 8th. 9th, Carmen Alejandro. 10th is going to be Helga Gunnarsson. And now you'll put Dylan Ebrahimian in the top 10 when Quentin Moore comes to pit road. Drivers out of the race. Jesse Art, yes, has already gone to the end of the longest line for pitting when the pits were closed. So it's up break for Jesse Art, but we're still in the early stages of this race. So she's got some time to recover as far as that's concerned. Drivers out after that incident. Molly Laurel, didn't realize she was involved in that big wreck. Cody Smart, the points leader, 36. I'd be concerned about this because Cody Smart is not just going to lose the points lead. I'm concerned for Cody not getting enough laps, getting him ready for the Cup race on Sunday. Because remember, as I talked about, he comes in that race 31 points ahead of the playoff cut line to stay in the top 12 for him to advance into the next round of the playoffs. So I'd be worried about going into Sunday if I'm Cody. Dylan James is out of the race. Tough break for Dylan James, Callie Birch, Shane Lake, Jacob Foster, Matt Boyle, and Ben Erickson. Oh boy, Ben Erickson also not getting enough laps. I'd be a little concerned about him going into Sunday as well, in finishing in last place. And oh boy, I'd be worried about Ben Erickson and Cody Smart. Ben Erickson, of course, he's had a rough year in the Winston Cup Series. Cody Smart, on the other hand, remember, he's a playoff driver in the Winston Cup Series. This was the last thing he needed. And 31 points above the cut line. Like I said, I'd be concerned going into Sunday if I'm Cody Smart, as we're back to green here in Indianapolis. I'm going to be very concerned about that. Daniel Gitirokhh, as we have a single file restart. It's getting up. Oh, Michael Brown's coming to pit road. Not sure what's up. Quentin's out. Quentin Moore is out of the race. Suspension issue is going to take poor Q-Man out of the race, so that's a free position for Michael Brown. I'm not entirely sure what's wrong with Michael Brown, why he came to pit road on that restart. Unless he had a tire that was going down, that would be the only explanation why he had to come to pit road. So he's going to hope for and pray for a caution. I don't see any damage on the Menards Ford F Series of Michael Brown, so he had an unscheduled pit stop. So he's going to have to hope and pray for a caution in this race. There's Nathan Orman. You want to know who's spotting for Nathan Orman? Courtney Lynn, because remember, Courtney Lynn's in the Winston Cup race on Sunday, so she's going to learn, she's spotting for Nathan Orman, so that way Ormy can help her out with the Winston Cup race on Sunday. Of course, Courtney Lynn not in the playoffs. Oh, boy. And, of course, Cody Smart came in with a 24-point lead. And where is Senor Sean, you ask? 17th. So, let's see. 36 minus 24. Sean would needs to finish 11th or better to take the points lead from Cody heading into our next race. That will be in 2 weeks at Lime Rock Park, because I had Darlington on the schedule, but I flip flop Lime Rock and Darlington. That's going to be a weekend where the Black Mesa Truck Series will pair up with the Cup drivers that weekend. They'll race on Friday. Red Bull GT Series race on Saturday. The Winston Cup race on Sunday. So, going to be one of those double headers. There's Chloe Erickson. Forgot to mention Ben Erickson, out of everybody in the Truck Series, is a former winner here at Indianapolis. That was when he drove a loaded Cherry NOS Energy Ford Mustang to victory lane. Chloe Erickson, she's also raced here at Indianapolis before on this channel in the Monster Energy Series in 2016. She drives, excuse me if I can talk tonight. This is what happens when you're recording at 2 o'clock in the morning. Drove the number 46. Of course, Ben Erickson, his win did not count for a playoff because remember, he came in late and swapped, changed points out of the trucks to the Cubs. So, of course, he got that win, but wasn't high enough to get his win to count for a playoff berth. So, because he was so far down in points, it really didn't matter. So, as Daniel Gitirokh leads, Nathan Orman running in third behind Chloe Erickson, excuse me. Of course, Eric Sadler, he hasn't raced here since the Oreo Cup Series raced here at Indy. There's Kiefer Quimby in 7th. Skylar Taylor's 8th. Carmen Alejandro 9th. Luke Knight completes the top 10. And someone just came to pit road. I think that was the 17. Luke Knight's another driver who has also raced here before in the Monster Energy Series. Drives the number 97. He is a co-owner to yours truly. And that was indeed the 17. So I was correct. The 17 did come to pit road. Brian James missing a hood. Remember, he was involved in that wreck. I thought he got through the wreck, but apparently he didn't. So he's got no hood on his Chevrolet. David Heller's back here at the rear of the field. Does the 5 have damage, or is that a damage glitch? Yeah, that's a damage glitch. I thought there was damage on the 5 of Futaba, but it was a damage glitch. Yeah, you see the hood right there? You're thinking there's damage on the truck. Same with the rear end. It's a damage glitch. She's got some right side damage on the Raising Cane's Toyota, so she must have gotten into the wall somewhere. There's Senor Sean. Remember, Sean comes in this race second in points. He's trying to run down Cody Smart for the points lead, so if you think Nathan Orman's got damage, it's a damage glitch. Because with this mod, for whatever reason, if like how all these trucks are, if there's some damage on the hood, it's a glitch. So nothing to worry about. Now here comes the question I'm going to have. These drivers pitted about lap 4, 5-ish. They have to go in about 20 laps. There is no way they can make it the rest of the way on fuel. There is absolutely no way they can make it the rest of the way. Even though they save fuel under pacing, there is no way they're going to make it the rest of the way. Ingrid Pollard's back here. Probably she was another driver that was involved, and Ingrid Pollard, not in the playoffs. Michael Brown's going to need a caution badly, or needs this sucker to go into a long green flag run. Evelyn Gray is 1 lap down. Quentin Moore is the only driver out of the race that is a mechanical issue, so what a shame for Q-Man. Started on the pole, had high hopes, thought this was going to be a turning point, possibly get a good result, but that was just not meant to be. Daniel Gitirokh, part of Summit Oskin's team. Daniel Gitirokh is going to have to attempt to qualify to make it into the Winston Cup Series races. Same with Daniel Gitirokh, or no, excuse me, Mohammed Zain. I know Gitirokh himself, his team owner, Samad Ozkin, and there was one other driver on that team. Let me actually look. Yeah, Ebrahimian, Ozkin, and I'm trying to think who the other one is on Ozkin's team. Mohammed Zain, that's the other one. So they will have to attempt to qualify for every race. I know Chloe Erickson's going to be in the Winston Cup Series because she has previous Cup experience. So I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure out what series points she's going to go for, which doesn't surprise me. There's Bora Park going to run in the Craftsman Truck Series next season. Skylar Taylor. There's Kiefer Quimby, Dylan Ebrahimian. Good run for Dylan Ebrahimian. Tatiana Correa. Haven't heard from Captain Frank what his plans will be for next season. There's Helga Gunnarsson going to be in the more than likely going to attempt some Winston Cup Series races. Christian Williams going to be in the Craftsman Truck Series and in the Busch Series for next season. Sean Art. Sean's in the Winston Cup Series. There's Nathan Orman. Nathan Orman taking the place of the now banned Zachary Taylor. As far as the Winston Cup Series is concerned, as Carmen Alejandro almost ran the side of the almost got it, did make some contact with the Rackley War Chevrolet of Sean Art. Remember, Sean is second in points. Good run for Nathan Orman. As, oh my word, they have just caught the 17. I was not expecting lap traffic to play a factor in this. That's definitely going to get Daniel Gittirokh's attention. Just minding his own business. All of a sudden, the 17 comes out of nowhere and says, "Peekaboo, I see you." Evelyn Gray just trying to get out of everybody's way, not trying to get involved. She, for the most part, is doing her best to get out of the way. Last thing we don't need, like that right there, is an incident. That was contact between her and Luke Knight. That would have been involving second in points Sean Art. Keep that in mind. Unfortunately, Michael Brown is not going to get the caution he needs. But he is up to speed, so it's not like Michael Brown's got damage. He's just up to speed. Apparently, we don't know what the issue was on his number 88 Menards, but he will be up to speed. But he will, unfortunately, go a lap down. And don't forget, Michael, your team owner, will be coming right behind you. So if I'm Michael Brown and I see Nathan Orman, he'll probably say, "Oops, I need to move out of the way and let Ormy go," which I bet you Ormy would appreciate it. And then he'll probably try to be a great teammate and be holding up everybody else for Nathan Orman. Just like Courtney Lynn will always be a great teammate to Nathan Orman if she holds up traffic. Daniel Gittiroth. Michael Brown definitely going to go a lap down, but as I said, he is up to speed, so. So also remember, we are past the halfway point in this race. Oh, 91 just came to pit road. That's a free spot for Michael Brown. He is now one lap down. So Mark Ames has had an unscheduled pit stop. Not sure what's up with the 91 machine. So Michael Brown has gone a lap down, but as I said, he is up to speed, so he wants to stay up here with the race leader. So if we get a caution, he can get back on the lead lap, which he's trying to do so. The other thing is he'll be picking up positions with all these drivers that are off the pace. Looks like the 9 came to pit road. I think this is green flag pit stops, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. As everybody is coming to pit road, let's make sure we do not cause a pit lane collision. Let's make sure we be smart, people. The only people who got their butts chewed about that were the drivers in the were some of the drivers from the Monster Energy Series who didn't learn their lesson of don't cause a pit lane collision. Looks like these drivers came to pit road a lap prior. Looks like everybody behaving properly. Thank goodness for that. Yes, and like I said, the drivers who got chewed out for that were the Monster Energy Series drivers. So if I'm Chloe Erickson, I don't want to repeat and say, oh no, not again. So it looks like we are having pit stops. So Michael Brown, I don't know if he's going to make it the rest of the way. I wonder who's going to be the race leader when this is all said and done. It could be Jesse Art. Remember, Jesse Art had to come back down pit road, had to serve a penalty for pitting when the pits were closed, decided to come back in just before we went back to green on lap number 11 of 40. So I think Jesse Art would possibly be the race leader. I don't know that for sure. We're going to wait for Ticker to update, as they're going to be catching Ingrid Pollard very soon. So Michael Brown going to need a caution. That's what he's hoping for. Tatiana Guerra just came to pit road. So did D Ebrahimian. They were 1-2 on the track. So it looks like this is the battle for the lead, which is Chloe Erickson. Whoa, Daniel Gitirokh got a little tight there and slowed up Eric Sadler just a little bit. Remember, Ingrid Pollard was involved in the only caution of the race. Well, she's trying to make Chloe Erickson's life very miserable. Remember, Chloe Erickson needs to be a little patient because remember, we do not need a driver. Okay, looks like Chloe's going to be a little bit patient, just trying to get around. Looks like Gitaroth's going to do the same. Because remember, if you go back to the Monster Energy Series race at Toronto, where lap traffic was causing a problem, and we saw what happened in that race, I bet Chloe Erickson's thinking to herself, oh, I really don't want a repeat of that. No, it's D Ebrahimian who's the leader. Of course, D Ebrahimian just did the undercut. He kept the race lead. Jesse Art has vaulted her way to 11th, but remember, she's going to have to pit again because I don't think she can make it the rest of the way. The last thing Dylan Ebrahimian needs to see is a caution because that would put those drivers who are off sequence in their window to make it the rest of the way. We have 31 trucks on the lead lap. Well, as soon as I say that, I think somebody came to pit road. Oh, Michael Brown came to pit road. So Michael Brown has gone back a lap down. So we have 30 drivers on track, 33 on track, 30 of them now on the lead lap. But Michael Brown's going to gain some positions. on those drivers. Looks like Chloe got a little tight there. Sarah Thomas has worked her way up here in the 5th position. Chloe Erickson's going to go back to 6th. Or no, she's going to go back to 5th. I'm sorry. And looks like the 17's on pit road again. Oh, this is probably scheduled. As okay, I don't know why Evelyn Gray decided to drive her truck into the pit wall there for some reason. Not sure what that was all about. Not sure what that was all about. Now she's going to have more damage on that 17 truck. This is really going to shake up the points table, I can tell you that for sure, going into next week's race. Or going into our next race in 2 weeks. As all the Winston Cup Series drivers that are not in this race, like Courtney Lynn, we will see Courtney Lynn. As you can go away, stupid virus. Courtney Lynn, who we will see her either at Darlington or actually she's going to be entering at Lime Rock as they're going to lap Brian James. I don't think this is going to... I don't know why Dylan Ebrahimian decided to get behind Brian James for some reason. I would have gone by... yeah, that was a mistake on the 76. I should have gone by the 42 on the front straightaway and not wait till turn 2. Now Eric Sadler is going to have to get to the inside to get by the 42, or... Whoa! Brian James apparently not happy with Chloe Erickson for some reason. Not sure what that was all about. Chloe didn't appreciate that. Don't think Chloe Erickson's going to appreciate that from Brian James. I know Brian James is all torn up, but good night. Probably Chloe Erickson probably shook her fist at the 42. I doubt the Swedish driver is going to be happy about that on the 42. As they're about to lap Evelyn Gray. Eric Sadler in 5th. As they have just caught up to the 17. Well, the 42 is also going to get in this little kerfuffle. Look out, Bora. Oh, this is now a giant cluster hell. Now the 76 getting passed by a damaged truck. That's not going to be pleasant. And now the 07 and the 17 are causing a roadblock. Well, goodness for Michael Brown, that's a free position he's going to gain on the 42, just remember. Bora Park is still stuck behind the 42. And she's still stuck. Finally gets underneath the inside, but that costed a lot of time. Dylan Ebrahimian's trying to get around the 17. Remember, the 17's off the pace. The 88 is not. And Dylan Ebrahimian, who was leading at one point, now gotten held up. But Daniel Gitirokh is now the leader. So as I said, that's a free position for Michael Brown. He's now up to 30th once he gets around the 42. As we're inside of 10 laps to go here at the Brickyard. Hopefully this race has been a lot more entertaining. Hopefully we'll see that during Sunday's race here for the Winston Cup Series as we get ready for the elimination race. Don't know how many races Chloe Erickson is going to run. Excuse me. If we were at IRP, we would have already had 6 cautions right away. But since we're here at Indianapolis, that was close there. Chloe Erickson almost got turned by Sarah Thomas there. That was close. They keep it together. But as I was going to get ready to say, but since we're at Indianapolis, we've only had one yellow. We've been clean and green ever since. So good run for Bora Park in the 5th position. Where did she start in this race, by the way? Bora Park started from the 27th position. Mark Games is now the last truck on the lead lap in the 29th position. Michael Brown, the first truck 1 lap down, had an unscheduled pit stop. Not entirely sure what was wrong on the 88 machine. That is a tough break for Michael Brown. Michael's definitely going to look to bounce back this weekend in the Craftsman Truck Series race, which he will head across town. Easy for me to say. Not sure if Carlos Rodriguez are going to take a shower in between races. But I know Nathan Orman probably will let Carlos and Michael take a shower before they head across town to get ready to race in the Craftsman Truck Series race later this evening. Want to remind everybody this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmitted or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV and the World Racing Association want to thank you fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. If you just joined us to our race in the premiere, you're watching the end of what has been a very calm and good Indianapolis race. So I think we made the right decision of bringing the Black Mesa Truck Series to the big track instead of a demolition derby. People punching, using Elmer, and Kermit, aka our 3 friends, as a punching bag. We've had only one caution that took out a lot of key contenders, including the points leader, Cody Smart. Where is Senor Sean, you were asking? He is 21st, second in points. So, let's see. David Heller is running in the 26th position. He was third in the points. He was also the rookie points leader coming into this race. And it looks like Christian Williams is going to retake the rookie points lead heading into our next race in 2 weeks at Lime Rock Park. Of course, we were supposed to go to Darlington, but because I decided to do Lime Rock Park instead, so it will be Lime Rock Park, then Darlington. Of course, we will see Sarah Costello. We'll see Priya McShane, Todd Montgomery. I think all those drivers who have only made their only start of the year, we will see them for their second race of the season. Dylan Ebrahimian has caught back up as Bora Park's running in second. That's still a great result for Bora Park. Coming down to 3 laps to go in this race. And again, as I said earlier in the race, if I was derping left and right, just a reminder, uh, this race that I'm recording, it is almost 3 in the morning. So please forgive me if you say nice derp in the premiere chat, because just a reminder, this race is being recorded at 3 o'clock in the morning. I just got done working a 3-day weekend as an FYI. So please forgive me as Michael Brown caught Get Her Off by surprise. Bora Park, as a result, takes the lead. And we're coming to 2 laps of racing to go. Remember, Michael Brown, that is not for position. Michael Brown is 1 lap down. But do these drivers have enough fuel to make it the rest of the way? That's the next question on the list. Tatiana Guerra is in the contention for this win. If these guys can catch up, that would be good. Jesse Ard having a solid day today. And remember, Jesse Art's going into IRP below the cut line. 9 points to be exact. As Gitirokh has dropped back as a result. Bora Park leads. Do we have traffic up ahead? Evelyn Gray could play a factor in who's going to win this race between here in the Craftsman Truck Series. Bora Park trying to win her first career race in the Truck Series. Remember, she got signed as a free agent from South Korea. The only South Korean driver we have in the DVR camp. White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go. Sponsored by Nathan Orman's Hot Pizza. And Credit One Bank, too. Bora Park. Driving for Spire Motorsports. Down the back straightaway. Someone's kicked up some dust. That might be Brian James. Don't know. Oh, it's Luke Knight who's had troubles. Santi Messi's out of fuel. Oh boy. I don't think they could make it on fuel. Here's Bora Park off of turn number 4. And Bora Park looks like she's going to hold him off. Michael Brown the inside. I don't think that's going to be enough. Bora Park is going to win at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. First ever win for a South Korean driver. And the first Korean win since, I want to say, either Troy King or Ish Taylor. Bravo to the GoBowling.com Chevrolet out of Spire Motorsports. They took the win with Sophia Woodward in the Coca-Cola race. They are going to victory lane for the second time, but with Bora Park as the driver. Looks like we had fuel mileage here, ladies and gentlemen. Waiting for the standings to get official. Looks like Santi Messi ran out of fuel. So did Sophia Woodward. Yeah, there she is. Dylan Ebrahimian, it says retired, but he finished the race, so I wouldn't worry about that. So congratulations to Bora Park. Tatiana Guerra will get second. Bora, by the way, came into this race, dropped 6 spots down to 15th. This will put her back in the top 10 in the points for sure. Good run for Noguera in second. Good run for Dylan Ebrahimian in third. Dylan came into this race. Let me see where Dylan was. Dylan Ebrahimian. He dropped 3 spots down to 13th. He'll be back in the top 10 of the points. Daniel Gitirokh will get 4th. He was the dominant car. He'll have to settle for 4th. That's still a good result for Gitirokh. as he came into this race 29th on the points, so a well-needed run for him. D Greene, who had a flat tire, needed a caution, comes all the way back to get fifth. Good run for him in that 99 machine. 14th in the points. This will get him in the top 10 of the points more than likely for sure. Eric Sadler will get sixth. Eric Sadler came into this race, if I can find him, 33rd in the points. A well-needed run for Eric Sadler. Christian Williams finished in seventh. Christian Williams has gained a lot of points. Remember, he was 35 points behind Cody Smart. He gained a lot of points today on his competitors. Sarah Thomas got eighth. Sarah came into this race in the 35th position of the points, so a well-needed run for her. Good quiet run for Chloe Erickson in ninth. So a couple of our part-time drivers having good runs. Nagora second, Chloe Erickson in ninth, and Dave James, who started on the last row of the grid, will come home in the 10th position. Nathan Orman, he was in, I want to say, like in the 30s or whatever. How in the flippin' world did he finish 11th in truck number 11, ironically? I don't even know. What a good result for the Glendora native. Carmen Alejandro, Ellie Rose, Maria Steiner, Helga Gunnarsson will complete your top 15. A lot of that has to be due to the fact a lot of drivers ran out of fuel in the closing stages of this race. I think Ormy was like either in the 20s or 30s, not having a good run. Good run for him in 11th. I bet he'll definitely need that after the rough finishes he's been having so far in the first half of the season. This is a great way to start the second half of the season. I believe everybody from David Heller on up all made it on fuel. Everybody else ran out of fuel. Jesse Art, 22nd. Well, there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is she finished the race. I bet you that's the good news. The bad news is I don't know if this is going to be good momentum going into tonight's Truck Series race across town. Remember, she is 9 points below the cut line. Keep that in mind. So she'll need to have a much better result at IRP. Otherwise, she'll be entering next week's elimination race at Pocono in a must-win situation. Remember, she and Jared Underhill are the two drivers below the Craftsman Truck Series cut line as far as their playoffs are concerned going into tonight's race. Anna Steiner finished 23rd. Santi Messi, who ran out of fuel, was the last driver to finish on the lead lap as you look on down to the remainder of the finishing results. Michael Brown had a problem coming to the restart, never recovered, 28th for him. Sophia Woodward ran out of fuel, 27th. Excuse me. We had 33 trucks finish the race. Evelyn Gray was the last driver that finished. Some of them ran out of fuel. Some of them were due to damage, like Ingrid Pollard, Brian James, Evelyn Gray. Part of our only caution, and only 9 drivers did not reach the conclusion. Quentin Moore was the only one who had a mechanical failure, a suspension failure that sadly took him out of the race. And then from 35th to 42nd were due to the big wreck that happened on our only caution of the event. Molly Laurel, Cody Smart, Dylan James, Callie Burke, Shane Lake, Jacob Foster, Matt Boyle, and Ben Erickson. Well, his sister beat him, so his sister's going to do the to Ben Erickson, but in all seriousness, this is not good news. Boy, Ben Erickson, who's really had a rough year in the Winston Cup Series, this was not the momentum he needed, and boy, I bet you he's going to be in a desperate situation to try to get his season turned around as soon as possible. He needs a major bounce back going into the Cup race on Sunday. But congratulations to Bora Park on her first career Black Mesa Truck Series. I can tell you this, Indianapolis played its part in shaking the points up. Indianapolis Motor Speedway gave us a point shakeup we will have going into our next race. That will be in 2 weeks, as I said, at Lime Rock Park. I know it says Darlington, but I flip-flop Darlington and Lime Rock because that will be the races. We'll have the Black Mesa Truck Series join up with the Winston Cup drivers for that weekend. That'll be, as I said, in 2 weeks' time. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. First of 2 races on this channel, by the way, for this truck doubleheader. Later tonight, we'll head across town for the IRP for our second race of the first round for the Craftsman Truck Series. Tomorrow night, we'll have our Busch Series second race of the first round, and then we'll be back here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway on Sundays. We'll have our first elimination race for the Winston Cup Series drivers. And when the checker flag waves, unfortunately for 4 drivers, they will be heartbroken, they will be crying, they will need to be hugged by Nathan Orman as they will be the first 4 drivers eliminated from the playoff contention. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We've shown your full finish results. Your point standings are down in the description heading into our next race in 2 weeks at Lime Rock Park. We got to finish up this race weekend. As I said, I'm heading across town, get ready to go to IRP, the call tonight's truck race. Green flag will be waving shortly after 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There will be a 5-minute premier start. That will start at 6:55. We'll go green shortly after 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, thank you for joining me. I'm D Devols. Thank you for joining me and saying, for now, so long from the Brickyard. Congratulations to Bora Park on the win. We will see you guys later tonight for the Craftsman Truck Series race. Until then, you've been watching another broadcast of the World Racing Association, the greatest racing since 2017. The Indianapolis weekend continues.